What up, YouTube? Team Movies here. With Muppets now premiering on Disney Plus, I decided to do my top 8 favorite Muppet movies. Because when I was a kid, I used to always got kicked out of the Muppets, and I admit, I don't mind the Muppets now. They're Muppets, Jim Henson's Muppets has been around like for decades. Of course, they are best known for their sketch shows, the Muppet shows. They've been around for like forever. So, with that being said, there's not really a whole lot of Muppet movies to be honest with you. So I'm just gonna do top 8 ones. But anyway, with that being said, here's my top 8 favorite Muppet movies. All right, number 8, I'm gonna go with the Muppets Wizard of Oz. Now this is actually a Muppet version of the Wizard of Oz, which was pretty cool to watch. You actually had Ashanti as the role of Dorothy, which I thought was cool. You had Queen Latifah as Auntie M. You even had the likes of Kermit the Frog as Scarecrow, Fozzie Bear as Carrie Lion, and the Great Gonzo as the Tin Man. You even had Miss Piggy was even the Wicked Witch of the West, which I always found to be odd. You even had a few other interesting guest spots. I mean, you had the likes of David Alan Grier, who, of course, him and Queen Latifah ended up going back to the Wizard of Oz territory with the Wiz Live, which I thought was pretty cool. Quentin Tarantino even had a cameo in this. I mean, would you ever imagine Quentin Tarantino in a Muppets film? I never would expect that at all. But anyway, Muppets Wizard of Oz, not so many people, like a lot of people actually consider it to be the worst Muppet film, but I always got a kick out of it. It was always cool seeing the Muppet gangs as our favorite Wizard of Oz characters. This was a pretty good one. I mean, if you guys have not seen Muppets Wizard of Oz yet, I'll say give it a shot. I mean, Ashanti as Dorothy. That's pretty cool casting right there. So, yeah, definitely go check out Muppets Wizard of Oz if you guys haven't seen that one. Alright. Coming in at number 7, I'm going to go with 2014's Muppets Most Wanted. Now, this of course takes the Muppet gangs from LA to other locations like Dublin, London, Madrid, and all that. And here you got of course follows the Muppets overseas, and is a crime caper that's headed by Constantine, who's the world #1 criminal and a dead ringer for Kermit the Frog, who ends up pretty much kidnapping Kermit the Frog and having people like the authorities think that he is Constantine. So you got Kermit the Frog now in jail, who's in jail with machetes. So yeah, it was weird seeing Machete in this. But anyway, you also had Ray Liotta, which is kind of weird seeing Ray Liotta in a Muppets film, but okay. You had Ricky Gervais was in this, Tina Fey, you had Ty Burrell. You had some interesting odd cameos, like I believe Christoph Waltz had a cameo in this, if I'm not mistaken. That was kind of weird to see. But anyway, I would say Muppets Most Wanted was a bit of a step down from the 2011 Muppet film, but I still got a kick out of it. It had some pretty cool songs. I like that we're doing a sequel song. That was a pretty good one. The Big House song that Tina Fey sung was pretty good. This had some pretty cool songs in them, and yeah, I got a kick out of it. Alright. Coming in at number 6, I'm gonna go with Muppets Treasure Island. Now this is of course pretty much a new take on Robert Louis Stevenson's Long John Silver classic Treasure Island. And here you got you of course got Tim Curry as the role of Long John Silver, and they're of course searching for a buried treasure and all. You got Kermit. Like, how cool was to see? Tim Curry as a pirate. Come on, he played someone in drags. He played a killer clown. He played a butler. So why not a pirate with Kermit the Frog? That's always a given. But anyway, Muppet Treasure Island, it also had some pretty decent music in the tube, but it was a pretty good one. I always got a kick out of Muppet Treasure Island. So if you got, it's kind of a childhood favorite of mine. So if you guys have not seen it, I'll say give it a shot. Alright. Coming in at number 5, I'm gonna have Muppets Christmas Carol. Now this is another fame fame book that's being that ended up being turned into Muppets thing. Of course, they had Wizard of Oz. They ended up spoofing Long John Silver. But what's next? Spoofing the iconic Charles Dickens tale Christmas Carol. I mean, here you got Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge. That's always given. This is a pretty decent there's been so many adaptations of the Christmas Carol. I will say this right now. My favorite adaptation has got to be Muppets Christmas Carol. It always had a place in my heart. I mean, we've seen the Muppets, celebrate Christmas and a few other incarnations, but I always got a kick out of the Muppets Christmas Carol. Kermit the Frog, who ends up playing the faithful employee Bob Cratchit, ends up begging Scrooge for a day off. Of course, Scrooge is a bit of a dick, but yeah. Michael Caine, of course, playing Scrooge is just always a given. And this is also directed by Brian Henson, who also gave us Treasure Island. And Brian Henson, who's the son of Jim Henson, directed that film Happy Time Murders a couple years back. Yeah. I like Happy Time Murders, but that movie was weird as heck. Anyway. Alright. Coming in at number 4, I'm going to go with The Great Muppet Caper. Now, this ended up being the second Muppet film that got made. And, you got Kermit the Frog and Fozzie Bear, who are reporters who have, failed to bag a story for a London jewel heist, and so the real criminals ends up managing to escape and frame Miss Piggy as the thief. So they had to set out a mission to solve the mystery and track down it. This also had a cool fourth wall break scene in the beginning. Fozzie Bear and Kermit the Frog playing reporters who are also trying to solve this case. Who does not love Kermit the Frog and Fozzie Bear? I mean, come on, those two really play off each other well. You even had a few cool cameos in this too. You had the likes of Diana Rigg, Peter Falk. You had Jack Warden was in this. I always got a kick out of The Great Muppet Caper. I mean, it's a pretty cool heist film. When you think of Muppets, you don't think of heist, but that's what you got with this one. If you guys never really seen The Great Muppet Caper yet, it's a really good one. Definitely give that one a shot. Alright, coming in at number 3, I'm gonna go with The Muppets Take Manhattan. Alright, what the Muppets and Jason Voorhees have in common? They both took Manhattan. Alright. This is also the film where we finally got to see Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy tie the knot. You even had a cameo by that time Mayor of New York, Ed Koch. You also had Brooke Shields, Daphne Coleman, Joan Rivers, Liza Minnelli. You have a few other folks, and it was pretty cool seeing the Muppet Gang or in New York City together. It's I always found this one to be more of a guilty pleasure of mine, but I always got a kick out of it. I mean, unlike Jason Takes Manhattan, this actually does not take place on a boat and actually, fully takes place in New York City. So, yeah. But I remember watching this one as a kid. It's been a while since I've seen the Muppets Take Manhattan, but I used to always get a kick out of this one. I mean, here the film, you've got Kermit the Frog and friends who ends up starting to stage an act, and so they decide to take the show from their college town to Broadway in New York City, and so the Muppets ends up winding up in New York, and they end up running into the sheets Murray Pulaski, played by Daphne Coleman, who's pretty much unable to stage the show, and so the group ends up splitting up, and they all take different jobs around the country, and so Kermit also thinks that he finally found a backer, and also he ends up having amnesia in this one as well, so there's that. And like I said, spoiler, Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy do get married at the end, so we get to see a frog and a pig get married. All right, there's that. But anywho, and you even had a cameo by Big Bird. Come on. Anyway, I always got kicked out of this one. And you guys never seen Muppets Take Manhattan yet? Give it a shot. I mean, I gotta rewatch this film again. It's been like forever since I've seen it. All right, number 2, I'm gonna go with 2011's Muppet film. Now, 2011 Muppets ended up bringing the Muppet Gang all back to the big screen. You also had a pretty cool cameo by Mickey Rooney. That was pretty cool. You ended up being introduced to a new Muppet named Walter, who's now pretty much who's also on that Muppets Now series on Disney Plus. But anyway, 2011's Muppets, I always got kicked out of it. I literally saw it twice in theaters when it got released. It had some pretty cool music. I mean, one of the songs, Man vs. Muppet, ended up getting an Oscar nomination, so there's that. You had some cool, some interesting cameos. You even had Jason Segel and Amy Adams was both in this. Chris Cooper, of course, played the bad guy in this one. It was really cool to see. I mean, some other songs you had, Life's a Happy Song's a pretty good one.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now. Please try a little later.
Alright, sorry about that. Had something wrong with my tablet. But anyway, alright, still recording. Anyway, back to 2011's Muppets. I mean, holy cow, crazy to believe next year's this Muppet movie is gonna turn 10. But anyway, yeah. And it was also cool seeing Emily Blunt in this. I mean, if you guys have not seen 2011's Muppets yet, I'd say give it a shot. It's a pretty good one. Alright, now my number 1 favorite Muppet movie has got to be, obviously, the classic, and that is 1970's Muppet movie. Now, this is pretty much one of the best road trip films there is. You got Charles Dance was in this. You got some, of course, you got Dom DeLuise, who plays the agent who ends up trying to pursue Kermit the Frog. And so, along the way, Kermit ends up, picking up folks like, Miss Piggy, Fozzie, and all. You also have a few other cameos by Steve Martin, Elliot Gould, Bob Hope, Richard Pryor, Carol Kane. You had the iconic Muppet, bike. That's always iconic to watch. The Muppet movie holds a place in my heart. It has some pretty good music in it. Of course, before that we had there was the Muppet Show back in the early 70s. Then, of course, Muppet became iconic back then. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys never really seen the Muppet movie by now, it's a classic right there. I mean, it's a film that still holds up. There's a few classic movies that rarely holds up. The Muppet movie is a film that still holds up today, and yeah, I mean, I believe it's still on Disney Plus if I'm not mistaken. So if you guys never seen the Muppet movie, it's on Disney Plus, so check it out. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 8 Muppets Wizard of Oz, 7 Muppets Most Wanted, 6 Muppets Treasure Island, 5 Muppets Christmas Carol, 4 The Great Muppet Caper, 3 The Muppets Take Manhattan, 2 The Muppets, and 1 The Muppet Movie. Now there's a few other ones. I was gonna add Follow That Bird, but to be honest, I never really consider the Sesame Street characters as Muppets, so that's kind of why that's on this. Muppets, the space one is a okay one. Remember Swamp Years? There was that. But there's some pretty good ones. I mean, the Muppets been around for decades, and let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Muppet movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Movie signing out.